Cptsd vlog, March 1st, 2025. Today was a tough day at the language center. I was doing a cedar weaving course, and I'm thankful to be in the course. But it was the morning it started good, but one of the elders, so it's all native, it's all indigenous. I'm a quarter indigenous, and then 3/4 white. But I like to do the indigenous stuff. I think it's good stuff. But they brought in an elder to speak, and I know this guy. He's a good guy, but he had a pretty tough story to share. We started with his story, him speaking, and his was tough because he started crying, and there was just a lot of shame. He's talking about how things are not the same as they used to be with elders and with respect and with the community, and he felt that it was a shame, and he broke down crying a couple times, and it's okay. Like, all emotions are welcome, I think, because how else do you process them? But saying all emotions are welcome, that means that all emotions are welcome, and both sides, both people, or every party, every person. And so it was tough. And I know that when someone breaks because they're feeling something and they're saying their story and they have to let it out, and they break down crying, or break open crying, or however you want to phrase it, I know that it kind of comes in waves. And so he cried the first time, and then he kept sharing his story, and then he broke down again, and then my urge was to go give him a hug, but at the first time, but I just kept listening like everybody else. And one lady was saying how your ancestors are with you, because he misses all those old elders when he was a kid, and now he is an elder. Well, I don't know if he considers himself that, but he is what most people would consider to be an elder, let's say. And so there was a lot of emotion there, and I don't really feel like because there's a lot of women in this group, and I feel like, I don't know, my thinking is that when men are weak, the women go crazy. And also my thinking is that when people feel shame, oftentimes a lot of blame comes up, and people are looking for a way to blame. And or to get that shame off of themselves, really, because it doesn't feel good, right? And I know that with shame, that shame thrives in secrecy, but it melts when it's out in the open. and it melts. So I think it was good that this elder was able to share, his story. And I went up and I gave him a hug later on and thanked him for it. But yeah, I could feel like the vibe shift. And so what happened after he shared his story, and then there was sort of, like, I just feel like there's an imbalance between men and women, and also there's an imbalance in the strong and the weak, let's say, or I don't know how to put that. Like, I don't know how to put that. I'm thinking of like strength and weakness and leaders and followers. But I do feel there's some type of an imbalance in there. But I think that it's the right path to be able to share and to let some of this express. But so what happened was, after he cried, and then he kept going, and then he broke down again, and he kept going for a while after, and then there was a little bit of back and forth, and then kind of it didn't feel like the transition was done too well after that. Like, and I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to be critical of the leaders of this this group. I think it's a good thing what they're doing. By offering this, it's like a cultural thing. But then we just went right into the work right away, and switched right into the work, and kind of, it didn't feel like I don't know if it's possible to, but it didn't feel like we properly cleared those feelings or whatever. But yeah, and yeah, so then we focused on the work, and then which actually I do like focusing on work. I enjoy that. And then so we were doing the work, and then people started joking around a little bit. But then what I noticed later is that there was kind of a raunchy joke started to be made, and then people kept carrying it on. And where I'm from, we used to say, you killed the joke, or like, you're killing it or whatever. So that joke sort of that raunchy joke just kind of kept going on. And I know this is actually really common. People do this a lot, especially with ribaldry, which just means like raunchy jokes, or like inappropriate jokes, or like, anything to do with sex or relationships or anything. Like, it's like so tee hee 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 ha ha ha, and they just want to keep doing that. Like, but there's kind of a way to do it, and this is more like a comedy type of thing, where it's called a callback. But I mean, I don't know if it's a natural talent, but there's a way to do it instead of just like keep saying it over and over and over and over and over and over and over. But then we had our lunch, and I was trying to say I'm keto, and I don't think I fully ate keto, so I noticed my mood changed pretty quickly after lunch. I'm not sure if it was, part of what it was due to. It might have been a group thing. I think the whole group was feeling a mood shift. And what I notice happens a lot, and which something that I just like, I absolutely, I I find it to be like something that happens a lot, is that women are always checking to see whether a man is okay so that they know if they're okay. And I don't know if this is like a totally true thing. I just, it's my own personal opinion of what I've been kind of noticed, is that when the men are feeling okay and they're calm and they're confident and they're doing, you know, their thing, women enjoy that. They like being close to that. They like being weaving in and out of that. And so then if men are not feeling okay, women are always like checking to find out a reason or why. Personally, I find it annoying because I just don't even want to explain things a lot of the time. I find it to be almost like a trap, like it just a cycle. Like I find that to kind of be what that's like. And this is actually a huge point I'm trying to make here, because this is something I've noticed can happen a lot. But like so anyways, my mood was kind of going off, but I was still doing fine, you know. I was still doing fine. But the women they started to almost like, some of them started to like henpeck me. And this is a word that I read in a Charles Dickens novel, which I really like, henpeckery. But it's basically when women keep trying to like poke at a man. And I was starting to get pissed off a little bit. I kept my composure, but the truth is I was getting pissed off, because it's like they kept saying this annoying joke, because we were doing this thing where we were cutting our cedar into strips. And so everyone's like, ha ha ha, you're stripping. And it's like, okay, it's funny the first time, second time, all right. But then they keep doing it third, fourth, fifth, and it just like, it'll just keep going. And to me, it's like, you killed the joke pretty quick. And it's like, I don't know. I've seen, this is what kids do actually. Small children will do this, and it's so that they can feel something, and probably what they're trying to feel is that something good and something that it's okay, kind of type of thing. And I guess just, I don't know if people don't get that when you leave a little bit of space, it's okay. Things will come back together and they'll take shape in another form. But anyways, but after lunch, I did notice that my mood was kind of off, probably because I wasn't eating keto. And I noticed that my vision started to go like tunnel vision. And also I started to feel kind of like not so good, like, and I just started to feel like irritated too. And like when that happens, you know, I just kind of like let it happen, right? Like, and I don't try and go into a big long talk about it. And yeah, but mainly because I don't feel like it's safe to, like, I would talk about it like I am right now, but my experience has been like that people are super controlling, and they won't just accept that it's something that you know, you've done as much as you can. Like, you're trying to figure it out, obviously. Maybe you've been trying to figure it out for years, and it's not just like something like, oh, I know the solution, it's this. It's like, I you know I this is a long-standing thing, like, so acceptance seems to be missing a lot of the time. Acceptance of reality. But the other thing, which has been kind of like going on in my mind a bit, has been I've been thinking about the Trump and Zelenskyy argument that took place on TV or on the news or media. And this happened yesterday, February 28th. And I mean, the short of it is, I think that Trump is trying to do the right thing by negotiating for peace, and trying to end the war in Ukraine. And I think that Zelenskyy, I don't know if he's really able right now to be a part of that negotiation, which is sort of why Trump took a hard stance, and it turned into an argument. But I think that it's actually a good thing to be negotiating for peace. And I think that, a lot of people are upset, obviously, but it's a good thing to try and, negotiate for peace, so that people don't keep dying. Yeah, I think it's sad that there's so many men dying over this war. Now, of course, there's other considerations, and Trump was saying, like, we'll get to those considerations, but we don't even have a deal yet. We don't even have a deal with Putin yet. Like, and he was also making a good point to Zelenskyy that he's really been enabled to be tough because of the USA pumping $350 billion of aid into Ukraine, and the soldiers have been brave to fight using that weaponry and that resources, but Ukraine would have been lost within like 3 days if they didn't have all the military aid and equipment and everything else that's been going into Ukraine. So it is a complicated situation, but I do think that Trump was right by saying that you don't have really strong cards without the USA, and you're trying to you're not going to get out of this negotiation, because that's what it is. You're not going to get out of this war or negotiation. You're not even going to get to it. Like, the negotiation won't go anywhere. It'll just remain a bloody war. And you could lose. Like, it'd be pretty likely that Ukraine could lose without all of the aid and the support, right? And I think that that's an important point. And I mean, to be honest, I think that what's going to happen is that all the not good interests are going to be kind of trying to take as best advantage of Ukraine after the war is over. Like, all these places like BlackRock and whatever are going to be trying to like invest in Ukraine. But anyways, I'm out of time here. So I hope that war gets ended, and I hope that there's peace in that area.